Welcome back. It's been a year since an E. coli outbreak in St. Louis, leading to lawsuits and long recovery. So this morning, the director of the St. Louis County Health Department, Dr. Kanika Cunningham, is joining us to talk to us about that. And also, as we get into the holidays, some food safety tips, which is really important, mainly because a lot of people will be cooking who probably don't, you know? I'll be honest, right? There's a lot of people in the kitchen who usually aren't in the kitchen.
That is true.
You know,
yeah,
myself kind of included. Before we get into that, though, we mentioned the E. coli outbreak. That was huge. So, you know, last year 100 people got sick from catered events. It led to hospitalizations, lawsuits. What are some of the biggest things you think the community and the health department learned from that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the importance of, you know, food handling, food safety for restaurants, establishments, caterers, to just reiterate to all of the staff the importance of how to properly handle and prepare food. I think for us as a health department, it just served as a reminder that, you know, continue to do our inspections. When we go out, talk to owners, make sure that all of their staff have been trained on handling and preparing food. So it was a complex issue for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot. And earlier you were on Today in St. Louis at 7 a.m. with Michelle Lee. You mentioned how on y'all's website, people can look at the grades. Talk about that a little, because I didn't even know that. I was sitting back there and I was like, learn something new.
So you can go to the St. Louis County Department of Public Health website. So we inspect every single food establishment in St. Louis County. So thank your health department that you can eat safely at a restaurant in St. Louis County. But you can also go to our website. You can type in the restaurant name, the address. You can look at the last inspection report, and you can see what grade that we gave that establishment. And so I normally tell people, look them up on on our website to make sure you're eating at a grade A facility. A lot of our facilities are, though. So yeah, a lot of people follow the food code, and it's safe to eat in St. Louis County.
It's one of those things that I really don't think a lot of people realize that's one of y'all's jobs, right?
Yeah,
the health department has so many layers to it.
It's a big job, it is. And then when you walk into an establishment, look on the window. You should see the grade, what the health department ranked them. But I think a lot of times people don't think about public health because we do such great work in the background.
Yeah.
But when there's an issue, like an E. coli outbreak, then people look to the health department.
Yeah, no, definitely. Then they're like, wait, what? Yeah, exactly. All right, so speaking of the holidays coming up, what do you think are some of the biggest mistakes people make that lead to foodborne illnesses?
Yeah, I think one of them, what we talked about the last hour, was no need to wash your poultry, so your turkey or your chicken. And the reason being, when the water splashes on the meat in the sink, the bacteria can spread all around the countertop, the sink, all over. And that is one way. If you don't properly clean or sanitize afterwards, then you can spread salmonella to your family members. So if you decide to do that, I'm not recommending it, but I understand some people decide to do it, just run a steady, small stream of water to clean off your meat if you want to, and then make sure you properly clean and sanitize. So to sanitize, 1 tablespoon of bleach and 1 gallon of water, and then wash your hands thoroughly, warm soapy water for at least 20 seconds before and afterwards.
And, well, we're thinking of, obviously, Thanksgiving, so we'll talk turkey. But just in general, a lot of people keep frozen chicken. And then what's the safest way to thaw out meat?
Yeah, the safest way, so for, so you want 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds of meat.
Oh.
That's the safest way. The other thing, you can also thaw it in cold tap water. Just make sure you change the water every 30 minutes. If you use the microwave, the biggest thing with the microwave, you have to immediately cook the poultry right after thawing it in the microwave. Recommend against thawing on the countertop. I think a lot of people set the meat out at 7 a.m., start cooking the other dishes, and then come back at 1 or 2 o'clock. That is breeding grounds for bacteria.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of those things, I don't know if you've seen them on social media, but it's always a running joke when you're younger and your mom calls you and it's like, did you take the meat out?
Right, yes.
You're running to the fridge. So that's a good point.
So thankfully, actually moms, you should thank us.
Yes, exactly.
For not letting it defrost on the countertop.
Exactly. You're welcome. What about cultural foods?
Yeah. So one, I actually was talking to my team about this, chitlins. So chitlins is a common dish prepared around holiday time. Chinooks normally carry Dibbergs are carried around the holiday season. It's pig intestines. And actually my team and I were talking about this, and the proper way to prepare chitlins, you actually want to boil the chitlins 5 minutes before you start cleaning them, so you can kill the bacteria. The other thing, kids should not be in the kitchen because there's a certain bacteria called Yersinia that's common in pork. And children are more susceptible to contracting it and becoming ill. So if you're preparing chitlins, make sure you boil, but then also make sure there's no kids around. And then you also want to properly clean and sanitize all surfaces. Chitlin is one of the most common causes of Yersinia that we may see. So we were joking about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, my grandma and my cousins. And
yeah, we were like this close.
Right, this close,
every
this
time.
close.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and then final thing, what about stuffing inside the turkey? What's your recommendation?
Yeah,
I
so
never
it's-
like that personally.
Yeah,
Put it on the
it's
side.
risky, but again, I understand it's a practice for some people. Definitely we recommend keeping it outside of the turkey or the chicken. If you do decide, what we recommend is make sure that internal temperature get to 165 degrees, so stick it into the stuffing directly. And then once you remove the turkey, you actually want to let it sit for 20 minutes so the stuffing can continue to cook for an additional 20 minutes inside before you start slicing it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Fun question.
Yes.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish or?
I love sweet potato pie. That is my
That's
favorite.
a good one. You know the people I don't trust? Green bean casserole people. Out of everything on that plate, that's
I've
what
never
you
had
like.
green bean casserole.
I don't like it. I have a bone to pick with green bean casserole for some reason, but good choice.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you so much for
thank
everything you do, and tell everybody in the health department we hope they enjoy their Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you so
we
much.
appreciate
Thank you.